G and Matty on Big G Country.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Big G and Matty.
Well, we're going to have a fun show today. We've got some special guests. We're going to do a review of the last year. It's been a year?
A year, yeah, since we went on the air, yeah.
Okay. Joining us today, we've got, well, we're going to keep it in the family with the Abrams are here and the Hunter brothers as well from out west. And you've got a couple of special guests as well.
How about Gord Mamford and Wayne Rostad? They're going to drop by as well. And, you know, we're just going to take clips out of interviews that we did in the past year with that. Plus, we've got a KooKoo Criminal. And today's program is proudly presented by our good friends at Rito Acres Family Campgrounds.
Rito Acres is the place to be.
It's that time of year, spring, time to plan your summer vacations and weekend fun. Why not book now for your summer camping and RVing at Rito Acres Family Campground, Eastern Ontario's full-service camping facility, located on a UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Rideau Canal, on a series of lakes joined by lock systems that links Kingston to Canada's capital city, Ottawa. Rideau Acres is only 10 minutes from downtown historic Kingston. Here's what Rideau Acres has to offer you and your family when you visit: the spacious pull-through campsites, trailers and motorhomes, the swimming pool staffed with lifeguards, a beautiful beach to enjoy for a relaxing afternoon of fun and family, excellent fishing on Colonel By Lake, a boat docking facility for your fishing or pleasure craft, boats, canoes and kayaks available for rent, a beautiful banquet hall for weddings or meetings to fit any occasion, 136 acres of outdoor adventure, hiking, biking, playground, swimming, fishing, horseshoes, basketball, and so much more. Make Rideau Acres your camping destination this year. You better book now. We're filling up fast. Visit RideauAcres.com or call 613-546-2711.
Rito Acres is the place to be. Come on out, you'll see at the gated community.
Well, over the past year, we've had the pleasure of interviewing some of our very favorite country artists that we've had in our radio studio. And, Matty, who are we going to start off with today?
Well, these two young men have been with us from the get-go, as you know, Biggie. And I remember watching these guys when they were just little at the Grand Theater in Kingston. First time I'd ever seen them. And, wow, blew me away. Incredibly talented. And we're proud to have them on the show today. The Abrams, John and James.
I think the first time that I met you lads, I'm guessing, John, you were 10 or 11, and James, I know you're 2 years younger, so that would have made you 8 or 9 years old.
That's exactly it, Gary. It's
Is it?
Totally. Can you believe how long it's been? I mean, it's basically been 20 years of knowing you. And, I just want us to start off this interview on the right foot and say, Gary, you have been, such a huge champion for James and I ever since we were little kids. You got us in to perform on the radio long before anybody else. You were spinning songs of ours, on commercial radio long before anybody else was. And so we certainly appreciate, especially coming from Kingston, Gary, that we had somebody, in our corner that really, helped us out there on country radio and helped us feel like we had an audience out there listening to us. So thanks, buddy.
We've all played together at the same time when we were young. And so that's really the reason why John and I play today. And it's a big part of what makes, the Abrams music what it is. And John, you can add whatever you want to that.
Well, I was just going to say that, it's pretty special because we had that first generation. Our great grandparents, now great pop passed away in 91, but great nanny, she lived to be just over 100 years old, Gary. And we just lost her about 2 years ago now. But she was still, they were touring in the 1930s, and she was still singing songs with us at family gatherings. At 100 years old, actually at her 100th birthday, we had it in Carleton Place, and we sang "Will the Circle Be Unbroken" and "Amazing Grace" together in 4-part harmony across 4 generations in that birthday room. And honestly, there was nothing like it, to have an experience like that spanning 4 generations of country and roots music all in one place. And at the time, we knew that was our last moment doing that with Great Nanny, because she was pretty frail at that point. It was a very emotional moment for James and I, because it's one thing to say you connect with your roots, but to connect with your roots 4 generations deep on this musical level, there's something sort of intrinsically almost in a different universe.
Well, there they are, the Abrams, and of course they're now Warner Music Recording Artists here in Canada. They've been nominated at the CCMA Awards. They've been nominated at the CMAO Awards. And as you mentioned, extremely talented. And if you get a chance to see the Abrams live,
For sure.
hopefully when concerts start again, you will have the same opinion we have of how talented they really are.
Nice to have you with us again, boys. And we've got another family that's pretty talented as well. They're called
I guess so, yeah.
the Hunter Brothers from out west.
There's a couple billion people in the world, yeah, and a million other places we could be, but you're here with me. Take a moment just to take it in, 'cause every high and every low led to this. I'm just so glad you exist. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm just so glad you exist.
Nice to see you guys again. And we've got 2 of the 5 famous Hunter brothers. So how are things out west?
Well, first of all, you got the best 2, so that's good for you guys on that end. No, things are pretty good. It's been an abnormally warm winter, and so most of the snow is gone. We already are gearing up for seeding here on the farm, because that's also part of our lives, as you know, along with the music. And so things are good. Trying to soak up the last few family days before, or a couple of weeks before it gets really crazy. But no, we're doing well overall. Thanks.
We, on our program and here in Eastern Ontario, we have always supported the beef farmers. We've supported the dairy farmers. We promoted, drink Canadian milk, eat local beef. And I know now we need to have Western grain come our way as always. And you guys, how big's the farm there? Now I know you don't talk about acres there, but how big is your farm?
Well, do you want us to give you the answer that Dad used to always give growing up? He'd say sometimes too big and sometimes not big enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
yeah.
Depending
No, we farm about 22,000 acres, and and that's a decent sized farm. It's a grain farm, but there are a lot of us as well, and so when you divide it up, I guess it's not nearly as big as it seems, because we're all doing it together. But yeah, we're fortunate to have the farm, and we sure love doing it.
Well, everybody kind of has their strengths, and I was just talking with somebody about that this morning, how you utilize each other's strengths and help refine each other, because we're definitely different. One builds airplanes, and one likes agronomy, and one likes poetry, and one, it's just you have all sorts of things under the sun here.
When we first started performing, Ty wasn't even born yet. We have pictures of performing as a family on stage. There was a little gospel festival that started in our area, I think the year or 2 before Ty was born, and we got invited to sing as a family group, and we performed, prepared our little 15-minute set, and that's kind of where we got our start. That snowballed into this community event and this graduation thing and this church thing, in which then grew into festivals kind of throughout Western Canada in the summertime, and we'd go away, play hockey all winter with our respective junior pro teams, come back to the farm, put the crop in the ground, and then we're kind of weekend warriors throughout the summer.
Well, it's time in the program for the KooKoo Criminal, Matty, and boy, this is a funny one.
Oh, for sure. And, I hunt, and now that my eyes are fixed, well, they're better.
Wait a minute, back up. So is this the excuse for you not ever getting a deer in all the years I've known you?
Exactly.
That now that you've had cataract surgery, you can now see the deer?
I hopefully will be able to. Come on, it's not that funny.
No, it's very funny. As a matter of fact, folks, here's how funny it is. You see this picture behind me? This is Matty just going to give a rifle instruction. Now, is that funny or what?
My cheeks still hurt. No, seriously, though.
Okay.
Before the cataract surgery, I'd go into the woods and the trees would start shaking. But we'll see what happens this year.
And that's the only thing that shook. Believe me, friends. Yeah. All right. So this Cuckoo Criminal involves a gun and a guy who, well, let's put it this way. He tried to shoot a ring off his finger with this gun.
Federal prison guard's been charged with shooting his own finger in a drunken attempt to remove his wedding ring during an argument with his wife at their northwestern Pennsylvania home.
Okay.
Alfredo Malaspini III, 31 years old, told officers he was trying to get rid of his wedding ring and decided to shoot it off. The gunshot badly mangled his finger, but didn't remove the wedding ring.
I would have to say here, Matty, there would be something very wrong with this marriage.
Yes,
Yeah.
just can't put our finger on it.
Can't now, that's for sure.
Put what's left of your hands up in the air. You're under arrest.
Exactly.
Unlike the gun he used,
Yeah.
the whole idea was half-cocked.
Well, there you go, Matty, the Cuckoo Criminal. I got a question for that guy. How does he give anybody the finger when they cut him off on the road now?
So he's mad at his wife, so he shoots off his wedding finger.
Yeah.
I mean,
he shot
well,
the finger off instead of the ring.
that's got to leave a mark. I'm not kidding you. Now, speaking of leaving a mark,
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
Right?
I see that,
People
Mark.
ask me, they say, Matty, what's that scar from? And I say, well, that's from my open heart surgery many years ago.
Is
and
is that your tattoo?
yeah, that's my tattoo, because you see all the young people these days, well, older people as well, with tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
I just say that's my tattoo, only with a better story.
Yeah.
And actually, that's my vein that they took out of my arm and put in my... they actually took some vein strips out of my leg as well
No.
and used it on my heart. Here we go. And we're still here, by the way.
That's
Part of the Zipper Club.
That means it's part of the Zipper Club. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, we've got a couple more guests, and they're going to come up here in just a minute, right after this word from Lennox Fence.
Big G here for Lennox Fence, Eastern Ontario's fencing specialists. For residential, commercial, industrial, or agricultural fencing, one call solves it all. Lennox Fence offers sales, installation, and repairs to any and all fencing. All fencing materials are in stock for cash and carry customers with our professional support. Call for a free estimate at 613-354-3449. Just north of the 401, Lennox Fence is now owned and managed by the Houston Group.
Well, we've had these interviews over the past year, and we've been very proud to have some of the greatest Canadian talented people with us in country music. And how about Gord Bamford, man? Do you remember the first time we interviewed Gord?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, it was very, very early in the morning, and, well, he looked it. He didn't get much sleep the night before.
That's right. He was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and you can't get an entertainer to come in on a morning show usually. But Gord did. He was, his singles were doing very well out west, but he had never really been exposed to the Eastern country music fans. And we're very proud to say that we were one of the first country music radio shows to have Gord on with us, and he's never forgotten that. He's always been a great friend all these years, and that goes back like 15, 16 years ago. So here he is when he stopped by to talk to us earlier this year, and that'll be followed by your buddy, Wayne Rostad.
Yes, of course, speaking of first, Wayne Rostad was my first employer, really, because he's the one that hired me back in 1970, my first job in radio at CJET in Smiths Falls, and what a wonderful man he is, Wayne Rostad, and he'll be up with us in just a few minutes as well.
We just did have our golf tournament. It was different. We had to run it over 3 days. I have so many people, so we're in recovery mode now, as you know. It was a long few days, but it was fun.
Let's talk music now. We met several years ago, and it was wonderful to be part of the country music radio, introduction of Gord Mamford here to the East. And we were very proud to have you, in our show with Big G and Matty some years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, 8 albums now? Is that correct? 8 albums?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're working on the 9th, but you guys I was proud to be a part of your guys' show. You guys are legends down there. So it was, it was good to be a part of that. But yeah, the 9th album, there's a song coming out here next week off that one. And then the album releases in March, and we're excited about it. It's, I think the best music going. I took pretty much all last year off just to record all brand new music.
On the Road Again, the program, that specific program was 22 years, and it was just a love affair with Canada and Canadians. I never felt prouder. I still do, of course, to this day. It made me, someone who loves this country incredibly because of the experiences. In 22 years, I never went to work a day in my life. I went to visit neighbors. And I showed up in a town, the last town at the end of the road in northern Alberta, wherever I was, or in Newfoundland on some island where only a fishing community lived, where, John Blunt would leave the community of British Harbour for the first time in his life at age 22 and take a boat to another outport and find himself a wife and bring her back to British Harbour and then raise a family. Such salt and such meat and potatoes stories, so everyday family stories. The success of On the Road Again was the people allowing us into their lives and sharing their joys, their passions, their loves. And it was no magical formula, but we stumbled into that magical formula. It was in itself, the simplicity was a magical formula. And people across the country resonated and started watching in droves. We out booked, what is the word I'm looking for? More people were watching Country Report in the 1990s at one point than Peter Mansbridge's The National.
The good part about the program too, Wayne, was that, your personality fit so well into that type of a show, because basically, for those of us who know you well, you're that kind of a guy. You've always been the down-to-earth roots kind of guy, and will always be that way. But on some of the shows, like for example, the show in Newfoundland, where there was these 3 guys, and I'm not sure if 2 of them were brothers and a cousin or whatever, and on Friday nights or whatever it was, they would get into this little shanty, start drinking the juice, and start playing this music. And then you go in to interview them, because it's kind of like a local ritual there. You go in to interview them, and then you join right in with them.
After I drank some of the juice.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there just killing myself laughing because, A, I know you, but the best part was the talent of these 3 guys who just enjoy getting there, playing their the one guy had a fiddle and a couple of guitars or whatever it was, and there you are with your guitar playing with them. That was that's Canada, and that's what we in Canada lack so much these days, is being proud of our heritage and the differences we have across this nation. And that's what
we're learning, Gary. And the nice thing to know is that there are more and more Canadians who are proudly addressing the fact that they are Canadians and saying they're Canadians, writing about all things Canadian. There are groups that are out there and individuals that have been doing this forever.
Well, that's the program for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. We certainly enjoy coming here. And don't forget, you can hit that subscribe button and help us to expand our subscribers on Big G and Matty. Just go to the YouTube search, and you can put in Big G Country, and our mugs will pop up on the screen. Also, you can follow us on podcast, on the audio version of the program, and that's on iTunes and also on Podbeam under Big G Country, Big G and Matty Show. And speaking of mugs, Matty, how about this beautiful 15-ounce mug? You can get 15 ounces in here, some coffee and some Baileys in the morning. And I got to tell you, it's just $20. And Matty, how do they get one of these?
What? How the do I know?
You can email
You sort of caught you sort of caught me off guard there, Biggie. I mean,
you could email us at biggcountry.ca.
yeah, look at those pretty mugs.
And we'll tell you how you can get one of these beautiful mugs.
Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did. $20, and you could have a Big G and Matty mug. That's it for this week, everybody. We hope we'll see you soon.
Big G and Matty on Big G Country.